Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Mayor Victor Gordo's State of the City Address. I'm Jess Rivas, and I'm honored to both represent our neighbors in District 5 and serve as your Vice Mayor. In addition for filling in, thank you. In addition to filling in for the mayor during council meetings and events when he's unavailable, which isn't very often, I also get to serve as your Master of Ceremonies tonight. In just a few minutes, we'll be hearing from Mayor Gordo about our many accomplishments in 2024, as well as how we will persevere and recover in the aftermath of the Eaton fire. But before we get to that, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our city leadership and dignitaries. Starting with my fellow esteemed Pasadena City Council members, we have Councilmember Hampton, Councilmember Masuda, Councilmember Jones, Councilmember Cole, and Justin Chapman is here on behalf of Councilmember Madison's office. And of course, Mayor Gordo. We also are very excited to have Congressmember Laura Friedman here. We would also like to welcome a representative from Supervisor Catherine Barger's office. And we also have representatives from Congressmember Judy Chu's office, State Senator Sasha Renee Perez's office, and Assemblymember John Harabedian's office. We have the PUSD Board of Education and Leadership, Dr. Blanco, and I believe most of the board members are here, so thank you for joining us. We also have the PCC Board of Trustees and Leadership, including Dr. Gomez. I'd also like to acknowledge our key city leadership, including City Manager Miguel Marquez, City Attorney Michelle Bonaris, and City Clerk Mark Jomsky, and our entire executive leadership team. And finally, I'd like to recognize all the members of our community who serve in voluntary roles on the various city commissions, committees, and operating company boards, who selflessly give valuable time in order to ensure that Pasadena continues to be a great place to live and work. So thank you all for your service to our city. If you could please join me now in welcoming Matt Stadler, the exalted ruler of the Pasadena Elks Lodge, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here this evening. It is a deep honor to represent the Lodge and its members, and it is certainly a pleasure to be paired this evening with having our Lodge and its historic landmark designation, as I said, to be paired with Mayor Victor Gordo's State of the City. So if you will, thank you. And of course, a lovely shout out to my wife, June. So folks, if you will, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Right hand over your heart, please begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2, you may be seated. Now I give you back to Jess.
Thank you so much, Matt. And moving right along, I'd now like to introduce our State of the City video. So that's going to begin playing right now.
Beginning on January 7th, 2025, The Eaton Canyon fire burned for 24 days and brought widespread devastation to both Pasadena and Altadena, destroying an estimated 9,400 structures and damaging many homes, businesses, schools, and houses of worship. While we have a long road of recovery ahead of us, the immediate response by government agencies, community organizations, and neighbors showcased our resilience in this time of crisis. By January 8th, there were 750 firefighters out in the field and 60 strike force teams requested, working to help save lives and protect homes. Pasadena Police Department also assisted significantly with evacuation and rescue efforts. The Pasadena Convention Center became an emergency evacuation location for over 1,200 people seeking shelter less than 2 hours after the fire began. The Rose Bowl Stadium hosted over 3,500 personnel and was transformed into a unified command post. Pasadena Water and Power worked diligently to repair several impacted facilities, conducted extensive water testing in affected areas, and provided 500,000 bottles of water to impacted residents of Pasadena and Altadena. The Pasadena Public Health Department distributed free personal protective equipment to residents at library branches and community and recreation centers, and offered guidance on monitoring air quality and regulations on debris removal. Pasadena City College offered up their campus for a disaster relief center and provided space for town hall meetings and school district events. Pasadena Unified School District moved quickly to assess their schools and bring back or relocate students to provide a much-needed sense of normalcy. Kaiser Permanente opened their Pasadena regional headquarters at the Walnut Center as a wildfire resource hub and partnered with national, state, and local organizations. Pasadena Humane offered significant assistance for displaced pets and their owners, from evacuation and treatment of injured animals, emergency boarding, a free pet food and supply pantry, and setting up feeding stations for community cats in Pasadena and Altadena fire zones. The city of Pasadena partnered with Dodgers Foundation to host a distribution event at Robinson Park. In addition, East West Bank Foundation provided a $250,000 grant to Pasadena Community Foundation for wildfire relief and recovery. We should acknowledge the tremendous work done by community partners, such as the Pasadena Community Job Center, Flint Ridge, Partnership for Children, Youth, and Families, Pasadena Community Foundation, and Pasadena Education Foundation, whose tireless efforts to support affected community members through food and relief distributions, assisting with debris cleanup of our streets and public spaces, bringing together community-serving organizations to coordinate and amplify relief and recovery efforts. As you can see, the manner in which the entire community came together to support those affected by the fires was truly awe-inspiring, and it gives us hope for the future of our city. Despite the challenges that we faced at the beginning of 2025, 2024 was a year of significant accomplishments for Pasadena. The Pasadena Public Library celebrated its 140th anniversary of providing numerous services to the community. While the Central Library remains closed, the passage of Measure PL will dedicate funding for the earthquake retrofit, repairs, and upgrades of this library hub. The Pasadena Parks Recreation and Community Services Department opened the long-awaited Washington Park Community House, held a grand opening for new pickleball courts at Viña Vieja Park, and celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Jackie Robinson Community Center building dedication. Pasadena Water and Power held ribbon cuttings for both the Wadsworth Treatment Facility and the Victory Park EV charging station. PWP also entered into a sustainable energy partnership with Caltech and received almost $1 million in federal funding through Representative Judy Chu for the future Sunset Complex Project groundwater treatment facility. Within the Public Works Department, the City Service Center, a centralized service that answers questions and assists residents via web, live chat, mobile app, and phone, celebrated their 10th anniversary. In partnership with the One Arroyo Foundation, a ribbon cutting was held for the completion of the Arroyo Seco Trails Improvement Project. The Public Works Department also oversaw an extensive green waste debris cleanup from the Eaton Canyon fire, which was completed by February 5th. The Rent Stabilization Department launched a new website for landlords and tenants and began the Rental Registry, a central database containing information on all rental units in Pasadena subject to rent stabilization regulations. The Housing Department held a ribbon cutting for Heritage Square South, a 69-unit permanent housing project, and launched their Accessory Dwelling Unit, or ADU, Standard Plans program. Pasadena and Altadena are communities bound by history, by shared values, and most importantly, by people who care deeply for one another. We have stood together in moments of triumph, and we stand together now in the face of adversity. Our city staff, first responders, and countless volunteers have worked tirelessly to provide relief, to rebuild, and to restore hope. This road ahead will not be easy, but we will walk it together. We will rebuild, we will recover, and we will emerge stronger, because that is who we are. That is Pasadena. That is Altadena. That is our community.
Thank you so much. Let's give another round of applause for Pasadena Media and all the folks who've had a hand in putting that together. So we'll be hearing from Mayor Gordo in just a few moments, but as is customary as Vice Mayor, I will share a few words before that. And I'd just like to start by saying that after all we've been through since January 7th and all that's yet to come, I'm truly grateful to be here with each and every one of you. To our residents, you've responded to adversity with grace, compassion, and boundless generosity for all. Thank you for working with us to help all of our neighbors, Pasadenans and Altadenans alike. I want to give special recognition to the volunteers who organized out of the Pasadena Job Center in District 5, my district. Yeah. Thank you for clearing green waste across the city. Because of you, we were able to complete that task in a matter of weeks, well ahead of schedule. To our city staff, including our first responders, you've gone above and beyond the call of duty, working around the clock under immense stress and away from your families. Too many of you have lost homes or have been displaced. Yet in the face of all that, you have shown up and given your all for our residents and to support your colleagues. You epitomize selfless service and true teamwork, and I am so proud to be on this team with you. To my colleagues, it is truly one of the most sacred duties of our lives to lead this team and our city through these times. And as policymakers, we must be clear-eyed about the challenges that we face ahead. Not only must we help each and every resident whose home was damaged or destroyed, but we must grapple with the fire's wider impacts, which are now starting to become apparent. Our pre-existing housing affordability crisis has become even more acute locally, as thousands of our displaced neighbors seek housing that allows them to stay near their schools and their jobs. We are no doubt at risk of seeing rising homelessness as rents rise due to decreased housing supply and increased demand. Renters make up a majority of Pasadena residents, and many of them are reporting smoke and ash damage to their homes, with little or no help from their landlords. So I'm grateful for the strong protections in Article 18 of our charter, passed by the voters as Measure H in 2022. Now is the time to ensure strong enforcement to protect our residents' health, safety, and housing security. Additionally, our local businesses are reporting slowdowns as so many of their customers have been displaced. Just this month, Bar Chalou, La Grande Orange, and the Luggage Room closed, citing this downturn. The end result is lost jobs and lost revenue for the city. We must reassure the public that Pasadena is safe and open for business and that we need your help shopping and dining locally. Finally, on a longer-term horizon, we must continue doing our part to address the climate emergency that we find ourselves in, and which makes disasters like these more probable. We must not back away from our goal to achieve carbon-free energy by 2030, but recommit ourselves. Because despite the misguided priorities of the current federal administration, we in Pasadena will set an example for cities across the country of what is truly possible. So there's much to be done, but I'm grateful to be doing this work with each and every one of you. I look forward to hearing from Mayor Gordo on the proposed budget and working with our colleagues to adopt a final budget that meets the moment. And so without further ado, please give a warm welcome to Mayor Victor Gordo.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Mr. City Manager, Madam Superintendent Blanco, who's here with us, Congressmember Friedman, and to all of my colleagues. and really to everyone in this community. Welcome and thank you for being here tonight. I want to say thank you and acknowledge Vice Mayor Rivas, of course my city council colleagues, our city employees who work hard each day on behalf of Pasadena. All the volunteers, let's hear it again for all the people who stood up and volunteered. Thank you to my wife Kelly and our children Michael and Emma for their love and unwavering support of my service as your mayor. Kelly is here, and Michael is away at school, but of course Emma is here, and let me tell you, people often ask, so what are the benefits of being the daughter of the mayor? This is what they are. One, you lose your holiday weekends because your dad's got to be running around Pasadena. You lose most of your weekends because your dad's running around Pasadena. And today is her 18th birthday. And so she gets to spend it, as every 18-year-old would want to, at the mayor's State of the City address. But you'll see Kelly and Emma leave early tonight. I'll be joining them after for dinner. So thank you, Emma, for being here. And happy birthday. We'll celebrate tonight. So, you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Emma. Happy birthday to She's also done great work to reduce the average age in this room by a couple of decades. So we come together tonight in the most difficult of circumstances. I originally wanted to talk about celebrating all of the great progress we've made over the last year and look ahead to the many exciting opportunities that await us, and I will do so. But admittedly, this is a challenging time given the circumstances in which we find ourselves at this moment, when so many of our families, friends, co-workers, neighbors, and loved ones have lost everything. Not just in the Eaton fire, but in the rains that followed. And our fellow Southern Californians have suffered a similar fate with a slew of other wildfires and rain damage, including our family and neighbors in Altadena and other parts of the LA County region. My heart goes out to everyone who was affected by these fires. When thinking of the theme for this year's State of the City, it was going to be building our community's future, but the Eaton fire changed that. This experience has required all of us to draw upon our inner reserves of strength, determination, and resolve. Together, we are resilient, and we are rebuilding our community's future, not just in Pasadena. When I say our community, I mean Altadena as well. Pasadenans have had a long shared commitment to creating a community where all are welcome, respected, included, and able to work for the betterment of Pasadena. This has been evident and demonstrated time and again over the last year, particularly during the last 44 days. Before we begin this evening, I want to say thank you to our first responders, some of them who are here tonight. I want to say thank you to our city staff, my city council colleagues, our city manager, Miguel Marquez, all at the Emergency Operations Center that was operated 24/7. Our federal partners, Congresswoman Friedman, our partners in education, our business community, our nonprofits, the faith-based community, the media, and most importantly, I want to say thank you to all of our residents for coming together and keeping people as safe as possible in the face of danger and uncertainty. I've never, ever expected to see what happened, but I can tell you, our residents rose to the occasion. I'm grateful for everyone that has come together since January 7th to help start the rebuilding of our community. And of course, our exalted ruler, Matthew Sadler. Where's Matthew? Here he is. And the Pasadena Elks Lodge 672 for its hospitality tonight. Thank you, Matthew. And I want to say thank you to the Elks Lodge for its commitment to Pasadena. The Pasadena Elks Lodge is a vibrant community, was of 1,000, now I'm told it's over 1,300. I'm a member as well. And this is a membership that's dedicated to charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity. Can you believe for nearly 125 years, this lodge has been a cornerstone of the community with a commitment to service, fellowship, and giving back in order to build our community's future. For those affected by the Eaton fire, like so many of our nonprofits, the Elks Club was serving free coffee, hot food throughout the day, providing water, new clothing, and toiletries to those who needed it. Like so many in our community, it provided a safe haven to work, to park cars, made quiet spaces available for charging of phones, or just a peaceful place to sit. So thank you to the Elks Lodge 672, and thank you to everyone, both within and outside of Pasadena, that has offered assistance, made donations to the relief effort, checked up on neighbors, and stepped up in so many ways to help rebuild our community's future. This benevolence, the benevolence of our Pasadena, has not only alleviated suffering, but serves to remind us that choosing compassion and kindness towards others each day exhibits the best of humanity. And that's what we've done in Pasadena, is exhibited the best of humanity. And it is the cornerstone of this community, and one of the reasons why I'm so proud to say I am mayor of this city. Moving forward, I say we build on our strength. As you saw in the video a moment ago, together over the last year, we were successful in doing great things to build Pasadena. And over the last 6 weeks, we have made good and initial progress and will continue to work diligently to safely rebuild the future of our community and strengthen its resilience. Just as we have not been deterred by other incredible challenges, and believe me, we've faced them, from housing crisis to drops in the economy, to the incredible crisis that COVID brought. Just as we were not deterred by any of those crises, we will not be deterred by the Eaton fire. As we continue to address the immediate needs of residents impacted by the fire, we will also continue to plan ahead by investing in infrastructure, strive for ongoing improvement in city services, and come out the other side better for it. I'm optimistic as we enter 2025, and you all should be, knowing that Pasadena will once again continue to prosper. It may take some time, neighbors, but it will happen. So long as we work together, residents, businesses, civic leaders, we can reach our collective goal of ensuring that not only will residents have an opportunity to be every resident will have an opportunity to be a successful and contributing member of our community, but that Pasadena will remain the crown jewel, not just of the San Gabriel Valley, but the crown jewel of the center of the universe for generations to come. See, this is our A student here. Yeah. At City Hall, we are definitely making progress towards these goals. Our city manager, Miguel Marquez, has led the city's day-to-day operations for 2.5 years during both the pandemic and a natural disaster. Our team of city employees at City Hall are resilient, resolute, and steadfast in their commitment to working hard each day to rebuild our community for the benefit of all that live, work, and play in Pasadena. Thank you, not just to our first responders, but thank you to all city staff, our partners, for all that you have done to help Pasadena be the great city that it is as we launch into the future. Our resilience as one Pasadena gives me great confidence that no matter the challenge that lie ahead, and there will be more challenges, together as a community, we will rebuild and create an even better future for Pasadena. Let's talk about what it's going to take to get there. First, our continued strength and commitment to good financial stewardship. So let's take a look at our finances. Slower economic growth has been the theme for more than a year, and that will continue into 2025. Over the past 5 years, Pasadena has weathered economic cycles better than most, and we continue to see businesses seeking to locate and some relocate to Pasadena. We have a relatively stable retail, restaurant, and entertainment economy, and we have strong property values. The city's general fund, I'm happy to report, has improved from $324 million in fiscal year 2024 to $342 million this year. That reflects a 5.5% year-over-year increase. And I can tell you something, that's an increase that over the last 5 years has been a tremendous growth in Pasadena. When in 2019, our general fund was in the area of $264 million. So for us to be at $342 million shows precisely how strong and resilient our local economy is. The utility users tax realized the largest increase for the current year, realizing gains from increased consumption of water and electricity, and of course, responsible rate adjustments. Overall, the city's general fund, largely driven by strong property values and sales tax, which account for more than half of our general fund revenue, is very strong. The city has a diverse property tax base with a total assessed valuation of $41.4 billion, dropped a couple zeros there, $41.4 billion. So what's the impact of these fires and the lost properties? While the devastating loss of properties in Pasadena is significant, particularly to the individuals, from a valuation point of view, it represents approximately 0.34% of the city's total valuation. This equates to about $300,000 in annual property tax revenue for the city's general fund. Current property tax is at $108,715,000. Transient occupancy tax, that's the tax when you go to a hotel, you make your reservation, they tell you it's $200 and you walk out with a $300 bill. Not in Pasadena though, not in Pasadena. Probably should have left that part out by now. TOT, charged to hotel and short-term rental customers has leveled out with current year revenue similar to the prior year. The anticipated of the opening of the new AC hotel in the Playhouse District will of course increase revenue. TOT is likely to see an increase in revenue for January related to the evacuations and stays in local hotels. However, we are also anticipating and baking into the budget that will be offset by reduced tourism, business travel, and the knowledge that long-term stays of 30 days or more are exempt from the tax. But I am happy to report that the TOT, the transient occupancy tax in Pasadena, is at $18,505,296. That's an important indicator of how our economy is doing, because what that tells us and it's gone up in the last 5 years as well from about $13 million. That tells us that people are coming to Pasadena. That tells us people are visiting our city. While sales tax revenues have realized tremendous growth from 2021 to 2023, sales tax revenue has been relatively flat for more than a year, and it's expected to grow at more traditional rates of 2 to 3% for the next couple of years. Current sales tax collected is at $80,223,221. Again, that's up about $10 million in the last 4 or 5 years. The UUT, the Utility Users Tax, this is the tax that we collect to pay for much of the infrastructure, and we're going to need to continue to invest in the infrastructure. The UUT is at $32,027,241. And then there are other business taxes. These are business license, construction, street light, and traffic signals. Those taxes are at $21,493,139. So the city's finances, I'm proud to report, are in very good shape. Our local economy has proven to be resilient even in the most difficult of times. But it also takes some financial planning, and I want to thank our finance department, our city manager, and of course my colleagues on the city council for ensuring that we were prepared to take on another crisis. After COVID, many argued for spending the federal COVID reimbursement dollars on one-time expenditures. Not knowing what the future might hold, Pasadena resisted the urge to spend precious resources so freely on one-time expenditures. Instead, we deliberately rebuilt the city's reserves to prepare for a post-COVID emergency. Little did we know how quickly such an emergency might come and the form that it would take. Pasadena, colleagues, we did the right thing. And when we took a cautious financial approach, and because we took a cautious financial approach, I'm proud to report that in the face of this latest tragedy, Pasadena's reserves are at an all-time high, exceeding even pre-COVID levels. The 15% emergency reserve is at $48,552,000. The 5% operating reserve is at $16,184,000. The Section 115 trust is at $13,600,452. The Section 115 trust OPEB is at $2,576,011, for a grand total of $80,912,463. We all as a city should be proud because it was not easy to resist the urge to spend. I want to congratulate again our finance department, our city council, and all who helped resist that urge to spend and put our city on such strong financial footing. As other cities struggle, Pasadena's finances are stable and ready to be put to work to protect our residents, visitors, and our business community. Let's talk about the Rose Bowl and the Convention Center. Let's give them a hand for rising to the occasion. Mike and Jens, who are here from the operating company, the Convention Center and the Rose Bowl Operating Company, thank you to you and your staff for rising to the occasion when our community needed it most. The Rose Bowl and Convention Center are community treasures and proved to be a lifeline for the region. The Rose Bowl, Brookside Golf Course, and the Convention Center all played critical roles in the city's response and efforts to the fire. Both operating companies realized near-term losses from postponed events or canceled events. But despite that loss, some of the revenue that may negatively impact the current fiscal year, some of the revenue loss that may currently impact revenue in this year, both operating companies continue to have positive long-term economic outlook with a robust calendar of events planned and a continued high demand for golf and other amenities. And I want to take a moment to say thank you to all of the residents in and around the Rose Bowl. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for working with us. Thank you for understanding that the Rose Bowl has to be able to continue to attract visitors in order to pay the bills. I want to give a round of applause to all of those residents who have done their part on behalf of our city to ensure the Rose Bowl continues to thrive. You know, equally important, the Rose Bowl and the Convention Center help keep our city vibrant and exciting by attracting events and visitors to Pasadena. Can you imagine not having the Rose Bowl in the Convention Center, not just in difficult times, but think of the excitement that the Rose Bowl and the Convention Center and the visitors that they draw. Again, Mike Ross, Jen Whedon, thank you. One of the things that we spend a lot of time at City Hall considering, especially nowadays, is the federal and state economic outlook. While the Federal Reserve's plan of a soft landing for the economy from high inflation has worked to a point, inflation has been stubborn and continued beyond the Fed's target of 2%. Interest rates are likely to continue near current levels and are forecast for a slow growth economic period with less private capital investment and less development. That's our forecast. Pasadena has historically utilized modest yet realistic financial projections to fund the critical services we provide, and we will continue to do so to ensure our financial outlook remains stable. But there are forces at the state level. One of them is the governor's budget. I'm concerned that as proposed on January 10th, it was presented as a balanced budget and cited more than the original forecast for the current year. However, it's important to note that I am concerned that the state has been using reserve funds to balance their budget. And the forecast into 2025-26 continues to use those reserves. Ultimately, that can have an impact on our budget here at the local level. The state's budget stabilization account was $22.9 billion in 23-24 and is projected to be reduced to $10.9 billion in 25-26. It's a matter of time before we in Pasadena start seeing the impact of lost state revenue here in Pasadena for programs that are important, and we must be vigilant about that. Additionally, our federal government has been operating under a series of continuing resolutions instead of an adopted budget to fund programs and commitments. And the president has been very clear about his intent to significantly reduce spending. These challenges at the state and federal levels are expected to reduce funding used to support critical city services and projects in our city. Again, we must be vigilant. Despite these federal and state fiscal challenges, Pasadena is committed to maintaining its high level of service and fiscal well-being to ensure a healthy future. Each year, the city endeavors to build a balanced budget that supports the community's needs with a vast array of local, state, and federal funds that are available. While we often focus on that $342 million of the city's general fund, it's important to keep in mind that our goal is to utilize most appropriately the roughly $1.16 billion the city has access to for programs and services. So where are we headed, neighbors? Looking forward to the next fiscal year, we will remain cautious. And the delicate balance will continue as we review where our funds are allocated. We will work with FEMA and other state and federal agencies and officials on recovery efforts and plan carefully to address critical community needs. Economic uncertainties require us to balance innovation in future growth with careful resource management. Be certain, however, that our budget will continue to reflect this balance. We'll prioritize programs that directly benefit our residents while safeguarding Pasadena's financial health. We will continue to rebuild a stronger Pasadena by celebrating the diversity and strength of our community, making certain, and this is one of the most important subjects that we can focus on, that our youngest residents, 0 to 5, have early learning opportunities and the resources they need for a strong, healthy start, and do our best to protect the environment in a thoughtful and cost-effective manner. As we expand our recovery efforts, we will also continue to support our local small businesses and further our important work on a variety of city projects, like our beloved Central Library, and of course, the 710 corridor and the Reconnecting Pasadena Master Plan. I am proud that part of the 710 undertaking, an important oral history component, was launched to document the stories of those displaced by the 710 freeway. Preserving their voices as part of this historic project is very important. By investing in these projects, we are honoring Pasadena's heritage while laying out the groundwork for rebuilding a vibrant, connected future for residents. How about affordable housing? How many of you are concerned about the cost of housing in this room? It's a cornerstone of building a better community and ensuring that everyone has access to safe, affordable housing. The Eden Fire has had a devastating impact on our Pasadena community, destroying or damaging 132 homes and displacing hundreds of residents, further deepening what we already face in a pressing housing crisis. In neighboring Altadena, the toll has been even greater, with over 6,000 homes lost or damaged and tens of thousands of residents displaced. Prior to the fire, over the past 4 years, Pasadena constructed 375 affordable housing units, representing 18% of all new housing that was built in our city. And these include options for low-income families, workforce housing, and permanent supportive housing. Also, 1,106 market rate units were converted to affordable housing. Listen to this number. Today, approximately 10% of all Pasadena households benefit from affordable housing or rental assistance programs. I gotta tell you, when I travel around the region and the state, no city has done their part when it comes to affordable housing like we have. And I congratulate everyone in this room for having a hand in that. Whether you advocated for it, worked on it, built it, we should be very proud of Pasadena's record on affordable housing. The recently established Regional Housing Trust with Glendale and Burbank is also working hard to expand housing opportunities in our community. To date, that Regional Housing Trust has raised over $20 million and awarded $4.9 million to assist affordable housing projects right here in Pasadena. Our housing department is engaged with HUD and our lobbyists to ensure that Pasadena receive its commensurate share of federal disaster dollars as expeditiously as possible to assist residents in this time of need. These efforts reflect our commitment to addressing the housing crisis head-on and ensuring that Pasadena remains a diverse and inclusive community. Now let's talk about education and career training for all and opportunities for all. Over the last 5 years, Pasadena has faced historic challenges in the way we work, learn, and live. Has it forever changed? The pandemic has unequivocally shifted the landscape of our world of higher education. We've been forced to change and adapt the way we operate, and community colleges are poised to play an even more integral role in strengthening the economic vitality of our regional communities, and of course, shaping the future of the nation's workforce. Pasadena City College is a ladder of opportunity for everyone, and we are very fortunate to have that great institution here in Pasadena. From students who want to transfer to a four-year university, learn a trade, to land a high-paying job, earn college credits in high school, acquire new skills to advance in their careers, or learning English, PCC is the place to do it. As a former community college student, I personally understand how community colleges transform lives and communities. As an elected official, I recognize the potential to build and strengthen PCC's partnership for the betterment of our residents in the region. That's why over the last 2 years, I've been working with PCC President Gomez and Superintendent Blanco and the Los Angeles County's Building Trades Council on our comprehensive career technical and training education initiative. This is an effort to strategize how we can help interested Pasadena residents and residents in the region have opportunities and successful careers in various trades. And now more than ever, we're going to need trained professionals. As we rebuild our community, the need for skilled workers will be great. Working together, we can ensure our community generates the workforce needed to rebuild and maintain existing and future neighborhoods. PCC, Dr. Gomez, is truly a great community asset and a jewel in a jewel in the crown of this city. Superintendent Blanco and Superintendent Gomez, thank you for your efforts, and we will continue to build towards that goal. When that first shovel goes into the 710, or we start rebuilding our communities in Pasadena and Altadena, I say let's ensure that our students at the PUSD and PCC are the first ones to put those shovels in the ground, draw up those plans, and ensure that our community is rebuilt with local talent. So what else is happening in Pasadena, as though we didn't have enough? Well, let me tell you, concurrent with our rebuilding efforts, Pasadena continues to thrive as a hub of economic activity and innovation. Thank you, Andy Wilson. From technology, engineering, healthcare, and tourism to life sciences, AI, and quantum technologies, we are home to businesses that will build our community's future. Over the past year, we've welcomed groundbreaking companies like electronic vehicles Lucid Motors and Rivian, Genesis Motors, and of course, Rusnak Porsche. Pasadena's role in the emerging AI and biotech industries positions us as a leader in cutting-edge research and development, with institutions like Caltech and the new Resnick Sustainability Institute and the Ginsberg Center for Quantum Precision Measurement and at Caltech. We are tackling not only local challenges, but global challenges, such as climate, water, and sustainability, and building a better world right here in Pasadena, the center of the universe. A little more excitement, folks. The center of the universe. Many businesses have recently come to Pasadena and will help build a better community. Listen to this. Wedbush Securities, once in the small city to the west of us, finally found the big city in Pasadena and opened and opened in Paso Royal. Motive Space Systems announced plans for expansion. Huntington Hospital medical office buildings and Keck USC medical office building, both on South Fair Oaks, are each 100,000 square feet. The AC Hotel by Marriott with 95 guest rooms broke ground on construction, and other businesses reaffirmed their commitment to our city, renewing leases or expanding office space. We continue to attract exciting culinary offerings in the city. Downtown's LA Pez, again, finally made it to the big city, and opened up Pasadena Pez Coastal. It's a modern seafood cuisine, and I highly recommend it. Prince Street Pizza recently opened on Colorado Boulevard, and the historic Filipino town restaurant, Woon, has added a new location on Washington where they're serving up Shanghaiese and Cantonese delights. Star Leaf Restaurant opened its doors in the Playhouse Village, bringing authentic Asian cuisine. And let's not forget our long-awaited reopening and reimagining of one of our favorites in Mr. Masuda's district, the Panda Inn. There's a lot going on in Pasadena, and there always will be. And it is a source of pride that these businesses not only create jobs, but also enhance the vibrancy of our community. In closing, let me say this. In my 5th year as your mayor and nearly 3 decades of serving our city, I'm eager to rebuild and help rebuild our community's future. But I'm just one person. I'm counting on all of you, and I know I can count on all of you to play your part. As we reflect on the progress we've made, the challenges we've endured, and those that lie ahead, and believe me, one thing I've learned in this job is there are always challenges that lie ahead. But one thing is clear, working together, we will rebuild a bright and resilient Pasadena for generations to come. 7 weeks ago, the annual spotlight shined on Pasadena, and we shared our hope for a new year with the entire world. 6 weeks ago, the Eaton Fire blasted us into America's spotlight once again, and the world shared in our sorrow. Tonight, I simply say this. Some of our streets may look like a zone of devastation. Some even may say a war zone. But I know Pasadena and Altadena, our Dena, is resilient, and we will support our residents, family, friends, and our neighbors to ensure our collective future is bright and strong. It may seem impossible to rebuild, but we have all the tools, and most importantly, we have the spirit necessary to come back stronger than ever. It is normal for us to feel sad for all Pasadena and Altadena has lost, and we should. But I am grateful for all that we do have and look forward to all that is yet to come. We are one Pasadena, and not only will we get through this together, but give us some time, just a little bit of time, and we will show the world exactly what the center of the universe is made of. With your resilience, your resolve, and your good help, we will build a better future for our community, one that honors our history, embraces our shared experience, and uplifts every resident. In 2021, I said we would be stronger together, and we were. In 2023, I said, together we thrive, Pasadena, and we did. Last year, we were leaping into the future, albeit not the one that any of us could have imagined. Now let's pool all of our great grit and determination to be resilient, Pasadena, and work together on rebuilding our community's future. Thank you again to all of my city council colleagues, all of the city staff, with a special shout out to my excellent team in the mayor's office, very excellent team, Vanya, Araceli, and Jana. And to all residents who are working hard to rebuilding our community, thank you for your trust, your partnership, and your unwavering commitment to our city. I look forward to all that we will achieve in the year ahead to rebuild Pasadena's future. It is an honor and a privilege to serve as your mayor, and I thank you for that honor and privilege. Thank you and good night.